All right, so some angle relationships we're going to need is going to be vertical angles. So they're going to be opposite angles of intersecting lines, or line segments are going to be congruent. They're called vertical angles. So I'm going to mark a couple pairs of vertical angles. There's actually 3 pairs of vertical angles inside this shape. So we've got blue dot with blue dot, pink dot with pink dot, purple dot with purple dot. Okay? Those are all vertical angles. You'll notice that they share the same 2 lines, but they happen to be across from one another. All right, let's talk about supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are any 2 angles that add to a straight line. Now, how many degrees is a straight line again? If you said 180, you're killing it. So 180 degrees is that straight line. Now, I like to think of supplementary as a S for straight line. Now, complementary are any 2 angles that add to 90 degrees. And I like to think of complementary as corner. So complementary goes to corner, which generally is 90 degrees. Okay? All right, we've got a transversal. Now, transversal is a line that just cuts through 2 or more lines. So this is a transversal. There's special kinds of transversals where they cut through parallel lines. And you guys did some of that last year. So here, we're just going to have we're going to label which line is the transversal. I'm just going to label it with a T. So that's the transversal. It's cutting through 2 lines. This is the transversal. It's cutting through 2 lines. And this T stands for transversal. It's cutting through 2 lines. Okay? Now, what's really cool is if they are parallel lines that the transversal is cutting through. So I'm just, again, going to label this with a giant T for transversal. I'm just going to turn I into a T. We have an interesting relationship that ends up happening. So if we have, so then we give things names. So anything that's interior is going to be inside the parallel lines. So any angle relationships, so remember we're talking about those 4 versus those 4. These are going to be our interior angles. So like 4 and 5 are interior angles, 3 and 6 are interior angles, 4 and 6, 3 and 5. They are all interior. Okay? Exterior is talking about outside. So like 1 and 8 are exterior, 1 and 7 are exterior. 2 and 8 are exterior, 2 and 7 are exterior. When we use the word alternate, we're talking about opposite sides of the transversal. If we are saying same side or consecutive, we are talking about the same side of the transversal. So with that in mind, also one last thing, if they are parallel, your only 2 options for angles are going to be supplementary, meaning they are going to add to 180 degrees, or they are congruent, meaning they are equal. Okay? So with that information in mind, I want you to find corresponding angles, which means same spot, just the different one. Remember, you're comparing these 4 to these 4. So like, what's the same spot as 1, but in the other 4? Hopefully that helps. Alternate interiors, you have to use the word alternate and interior to figure out which 2 angle pairs you can talk about. Here you're talking about consecutive, which means the same thing as same side. Interior, okay, and then alternate exterior angles. So figure out what they would be. Are they congruent or are they supplementary? And then write what the angle pairs are in the other one. And then we're going to do a quick little blip of this one. I'll help you with A and probably A and D. And then you guys are going to be on your own for the rest of this.